The movie starts with Jing, a 20-year-old boy who lives with his 6-year-old sister Tong. They are the only two members of their family, and Jing takes care of Tong like a daughter. Then it shows Jing sitting with a doctor who informs him that Tong has a rare heart condition that requires surgery which will cost around 500,000 yuan. Jing talks to the doctor and gets emotional several times, but he resolves that he will do whatever it takes to get his sister's surgery done. He thinks that God took his parents from him first, and now he won't let anything happen to his sister. No matter how hard he has to work, he will get the surgery done. He thinks about this all night, and morning comes quickly. Jing runs a nice view mobile repair shop, and that's where the story continues. When Jing goes to his shop, his friend takes him to a warehouse and says, "I have a stock of 100,000 second-hand mobile phones for you. These phones were rejected from Japan and sent back here. They have minor issues, nothing major. I know you can fix them. The owner of this stock is in jail, and these phones have been lying here for a long time. You can buy all these phones from me for 100,000 yuan, fix them, and sell them in the market for a good profit." Jing thinks it's a good idea, but he doesn't have enough money to buy even one phone at that moment. He returns home and talks to his sister. After putting her to bed, he starts working on repairing a phone throughout the night. Finally, he fixes the phone and takes it to a mobile shop to sell it. The shopkeeper checks the phone, finds it in excellent condition, and offers a good price for it, making Jing very happy. Jing calculates that if he buys all the phones and repairs them, he could make around 1 million yuan in profit. With the profit, he would be able to pay for his sister's treatment, clear all his debts, and live peacefully. Jing decides to go ahead with this plan. He mortgages his shop documents and takes a loan from the bank. With the money, he buys the 100,000 phones. Afterward, he goes to a big shopkeeper who deals in second-hand mobile phones. He shows the shopkeeper a phone he has repaired and says, "I fixed this one." The shopkeeper checks the phone and remarks, "This looks like it's brand new and works perfectly." Jing then explains everything and makes a deal that he will repair the 100,000 phones gradually and provide them to the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper will sell them at a good price and give Jing his profit. The deal is finalized, and Jing starts working day and night to repair the phones as quickly as possible. In just a few days, he starts making a good amount of money. A few days later, the government passes a law that prohibits buying or selling second-hand mobile phones. This shatters all of Jing and Tong's hopes. Jing goes to the shopkeeper in the morning, but the shopkeeper refuses to buy the phones due to the new law. Now Jing is in even bigger trouble as his sister's health is deteriorating day by day, and he also has to pay off the shop loan and cover the rent. He spends the whole night thinking about what to do. Finally, an idea strikes him. The next morning, he goes to the company that manufactured the phones. He tells the manager, "I have 100,000 second-hand phones from your company. Due to the new law, neither you nor I can sell them, but if you want, you can sell their parts abroad and make good money." The manager responds, "That's impossible, because when old parts are extracted, they often have defects that will cause them to fail the quality control check." Jing confidently says, "Sir, I trust myself. I can extract those parts so carefully that they will pass the quality control check." The manager says, "If you are confident, then give it a try. If the parts pass the quality check, let me know." Meanwhile, loan recovery agents start harassing Jing because he hasn't paid any of his loan installments. Despite this, he focuses on his work, spending days and nights carefully extracting the parts from the phones. He sends the parts for quality control testing, and all of them pass. Jing is overjoyed and rushes to the manager. However, this time the manager ignores him and doesn't listen. Jing says, "Sir, I worked day and night to extract these parts, and they passed the test as you asked. So you can buy them now." The manager retorts, "Are you crazy? I told you to inform me if the parts passed the test, not that I would buy them from you." Hearing this, Jing gets angry. Just then, he spots the company owner. He explains the whole situation to the owner, but the owner says, "I don't have time for this. I'll miss my train. Talk to me some other day." Saying this, the owner leaves to catch his train. Jing feels frustrated, but then gathers his wits and follows the owner on his scooter. Despite facing several obstacles on the way, he races to the railway station. He manages to reach the station just in time to explain his situation to the owner on the train. He succeeds in explaining everything to the owner. The owner praises Jing for his confidence and skills, but says, "I can't buy the phones because it's illegal. However, there's a way. You have to extract all the parts yourself. If all the parts pass the quality test, I will buy them from you." Remember, I won't provide any financial support or any help from people or machines. You have to do it all by yourself, form your own team, and when the work is done, call me on this card. My manager will handle the rest. Hearing this, Jing feels discouraged at first, but he knows he has no other option. So he gathers his thoughts, gets off the train, and then picks up Tong from school. Tong notices his injuries from reaching the railway station and says, "If Mom were here, she would scold you a lot. You don't take care of yourself and drive the scooter too fast. What will happen to me if something happens to you? Have you ever thought about that?" Listening to his little sister's words, Jing becomes emotional. After they return home, Tong applies medicine to his wounds. That night, Jing thinks, "How will I do this alone? I need a team for such a big task. It can't be done otherwise." The next morning, he meets his neighbor Mr. Long and tells him everything. He says, "I need trustworthy people for this job, and I trust no one more than you. You've taken care of Tong and me since our childhood, and I have a lot of respect for you. I request you to help me with this work." Mr. Long says, "This task is very risky. If things don't work out, you'll lose everything." Jing replies, "My sister is everything to me, and the doctor has given me only 6 months to save her life. If I could save her with a small job, I would do that, but it's not possible. So this risk is my responsibility, and I'm ready to work day and night for it." Mr. Long gets emotional and promises to support him. Jing sells his shop to pay off his loan and then sells his scooter to gather enough money to pay the rent for a place to store the mobile phones and to pay the team members. Mr. Long fully supports him in all this. They both find a cheap place in the city and start cleaning it up. Once everything is settled, they talk about hiring a team. However, the problem is that Jing doesn't have much money, and now he also has to pay rent for this new place. So he needs a team that either won't take money or will work for very little. Therefore, Jing and Mr. Long first hire a single mother who was working as a waiter. They found out that she has good knowledge of electrical components, but was fired from her previous job due to hearing problems caused by the noisy environment. Next, they hire a man who got into a fight with a colleague at his last job and was subsequently fired. They also hire a young boy who is a very good gamer and spends all day at a cyber cafe. He wants to earn money to get married, so he is looking for a good job. He recommends hiring his friends as well, which Jing agrees to. Additionally, some of Jing's retired neighbors join in wanting to help Jing get his sister treated as soon as possible. After the hiring process, the entire team gets to work. Jing also searches for a side job for himself, thinking that the team will work during the day and he can do another job at that time, then work at the factory at night. He visits an old friend who initially refuses to help, but when Jing grabs his hand and explains about his sister, his friend feels deeply saddened and offers him a window cleaning job. Jing starts working as a window cleaner during the day and works at the factory on mobile phones at night. He leaves no stone unturned in his hard work, but he barely sleeps at night. After a few days, Jing gets into a fight with the gamer boy's friend because he mistakenly deducted some of his pay due to a work error. Angrily, the boy quits the job. However, a few days later, when the gamer boy gets married, Jing and the rest of the team, including the friend who had quit, attend the wedding. The friend approaches Jing, apologizes, and agrees to return to work at the factory. After the wedding function, Jing returns home with Tong, only to find that the landlord has locked the house because Jing hasn't paid the rent. Jing and his innocent sister sit at the doorstep wondering what to do. He then takes Tong to Mr. Long's house and goes to sleep at the factory himself. 2 days later, Jing realizes he is imposing too much on Mr. Long, who has already helped him a lot. Finding no other solution, he brings Tong to the factory and makes a bed for her out of mobile phone cartons. Seeing his sister's condition, Jing cries a lot that night. Her health is worsening and he can't even provide her a proper place to sleep. The next day, Mr. Long tells Jing that Tong can sleep at his house, but Jing declines, saying he can't stay without his sister. In a state of emotional turmoil, one night Tong hears some noises. Jing, who has also been sleep deprived, is finally asleep. Tong wakes him up and tells him about the noises. Jing goes outside and discovers that some thieves are trying to break into the factory to steal the mobile phones. He runs towards them, and the thieves, in an attempt to escape, grab whatever they can and run. In the chaos, one thief gets caught by Jing while the others escape in a car. However, during the struggle, some of Jing's fingers get broken and his hand is put in a cast. The police interrogate the captured thief, leading to the arrest of the other thieves and the recovery of the stolen goods. After getting his hand cast, Jing realizes he still can't move his fingers properly, but continues his window cleaning job due to financial necessity. One day, while working, his finger breaks again. His supervisor notices and calls him overseeing his injured hand. Jing tries to hide it, but the supervisor insists he remove his gloves, revealing that Jing had been supporting his fingers with an artificial brace. The supervisor angrily slaps Jing and tells him that he can no longer keep him on the job. He explains that if the owners found out about Jing's condition and a bucket fell, they would hold him responsible. Feeling guilty, the supervisor gives Jing some advance money and sends him away. Jing is very disheartened because he has lost a significant source of income. You might be wondering when Jing's troubles will end, as he has endured so much already. But this is just the dark night of his journey, and it is about to get even darker. After returning to the factory, Jing is caught by the factory owner, who accuses him of not paying last month's rent. The owner threatens to evict Jing if he doesn't pay by tomorrow. Jing tries to explain that it's just a matter of 1 month and asks for a little more time, promising to gather the payment. However, the landlord remains adamant and refuses to listen. Feeling utterly broken, Jing realizes he's reached his limit because now he can barely use his injured hand, which he relied on to support his sister. In a final effort, he approaches the company manager, pouring his heart out and requesting assistance to settle the dues within a month. However, the manager bursts into laughter at Jing's plea, ridiculing him and saying he can never finish the job. Humiliated, the manager dismisses Jing on the spot. Standing alone in the rain, Jing contemplates his sister's future and wonders how much more testing God will subject him to. Despite his efforts to prove himself and do everything for his sister, he feels he has achieved nothing. That night, he remembers his promise to his mother to take care of Tong and never let her feel the absence of their parents. Distraught, Jing runs through these thoughts repeatedly in his mind. Finally, the next morning, the factory owner kicks Jing out, sealing his fate. Jing informs his team that he couldn't pay the factory rent because the factory has shut down, and I don't have money to pay your salaries this month. I'm not even sure if I'll ever be able to pay you. All I know is that if we somehow complete this job, it will change all our lives. But right now, I don't have the money to pay you all. The entire team is present before him, all of whom had complete trust in him until now. Everyone knew he was working day and night, even double shifts, and Mr. Land had already informed everyone beforehand. Now everyone tells him that it's okay, there's no money, so what? We are together, we will complete the job, and together we will move forward. Hearing this, those who had lost their self-confidence regain it, and finally everyone decides that they will take their mobile phones home and do the job directly from there. Gradually everyone does the same, and they clean all the parts of the mobile with care. During this time, one night, Tong tells him that she saw her mother in a dream, who was saying that you have grown up now and you should take care of your brother. Hearing this, tears come into Jing's eyes and he hugs Tong tightly. After the entire team finishes the job, they send all the parts to the company for quality testing. After that, the owner calls the entire team to his office. He says, "Finally, you've proven yourselves. All your parts have passed the test." Turning to Jing, he asks, "Will you sell all the parts now?" The owner says, "I will buy all your parts now, and I'll also give you a 2-year contract with an advance of 50 Indian rupees lakh." His manager gets goosebumps and a wave of excitement runs through the entire team. They quietly let out their suppressed emotions there, but as soon as they reach the lift, everyone starts running and hugging each other. Finally, the fruit of their years of hard work was in their hands today. Jing, who did what he promised, not only changed his life, but also the lives of his team. After this, he gets his sister treated, and after 6 years, he becomes the CEO of his own company, proudly sharing his journey with his team and receiving accolades from everyone. But his eyes rest on his sister, whose smile means the most to him in this world. With this, the movie ends. Now today's question is about what Jing's sister saw in her dream about their mom. If you've watched this video completely, you'll know the answer. Please comment below. This movie has taught us a lot, like never giving up and passion always comes with a reward. How did you find this movie? Please let us know in the comments below. Like and share on social media. Don't forget to share on social media, and also if you're new here, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you never miss such amazing movies. Alright then, take care and thanks for watching.